You're listening to Anime Untucked!
This is Anime Untucked, the podcast for anime buffs who love discussing things like character development, plot summary, climax. If you enjoy talking about those things in anime, this is the podcast for you. I'm Zolan, your host, and periodically I'll be joined by other hosts and guests who will help me discuss anime episodes. In our very first episode, we'll be discussing the anime Chainsaw Man, Episode 9 from Kyoto. Hey guys, what's up? This is Zolan, and you're listening to Anime Untucked. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing Chainsaw Man Episode 9 from Kyoto. So if you guys are not caught up, if you're still watching, please do not listen because there will be a lot of spoilers, and I don't want to spoil this great anime for you. So in episode 9, and for today's podcast, I'm basically going to kind of recap the episode, kind of gently summarize what happened, but then most of all, I want to share with you my notes about what I think is happening, some of the meanings behind some of the things that have happened, and possibly what will happen in future episodes. So to begin with, we start with episode 9. Immediately, we are kind of picking up from the last fight where we were introduced to Swordman. And so basically, we start off with Himeno and ultimately what is seemingly Himeno's death. So we know that Swordman he has some type of affiliation, right, with the Yakuza. Like his grandfather was this important Yakuza person, whatever. We don't really know who Snake Girl is. I don't know if that's her name. That's kind of like what I'm referring to her as because the devil that she has a contract with is a snake. And so we don't know who she is or really like what her reason for being a part of this whole scheme is, right? Because she seemingly is human, right? And so it's not uncommon for humans to kind of like join the dark side and kind of like form these allegiances with devils. But to some degree it does warrant some type of like um interrogation, or not an interrogation, but kind of like a um just some type of questioning, like what is her reason for doing this? And it could really be as simple as probably like something like money or power, but who knows, maybe there is some deeper reasoning behind that. And I feel like um because she does kind of like know about Makima, there seems to be some type of history there, right? Like she's dealt with Makima or heard of Makima in her circles, right, before. So she's not new to this. So unlike the other guys who kind of seem like they were way over their heads, right, the gunmen, she seems like she's probably been at this for at least a decent minute, right? So ultimately, we begin the episode with Himeno's death. It's very sad. It's very unfortunate. And if you remember from that last episode, she kind of like left with those heartbreaking words of, you can't die yet, Aki, because I need you to cry for me like you've cried for everyone else." Those were like her dying words and and ultimately like her dying wish, right? She gives everything. She sacrifices herself to save Aki, but also because if I can't get you to love me, I have to get you to cry for me. And like how that is so like morbidly poetic, but this is her. She loves this man and she's giving her all for this man. If she can't have him in this life, she has to at least die knowing that he's going to cry for her. And so it's very sad, but we start off with Himeno's death. And then immediately after that, um Swordman and Snake Girl, they set their sights on Denji. And so one of the questions that I do have, and I think most of you also have, is why does everyone want Denji's heart? He's only been a devil or a fiend for half a minute, but yet somehow he already has made a name for himself. And really it might not even be his name because his devil oh my gosh, I can't remember the devil's name. But the Chainsaw Devil has already kind of made a name for themselves, right? He has some, he or it or she or whatever has some type of notoriety in the devil world, right? They are seemingly somewhat of a powerful devil. They have recognition. People, devils know about this Chainsaw Devil. So I'm not really sure if it's so much of Denji's notoriety and like what he's been doing with public safety, or if it's somehow already like this kind of like understanding before that, like, oh, the Chainsaw Devil, like we got to get them out of here. So right off the bat, they set their sights on Denji, but they make it a mention to say that they need the heart undamaged, which basically means that we need him alive, but more so like the focus is on the heart. The heart has to be undamaged. So if they wanted to kill Denji, or if somebody wanted Denji dead, like the Gun Devil, clearly they would have done it. You know, that would have been the mission because to be honest, they had the opportunity right there when they kind of like sliced through Denji and took him out. So if they wanted him dead, or if somebody wanted him dead, that was the opportunity. But it is not. That is not the goal. They want him alive, or they want his heart again undamaged. So that leads to the question of why. What is the intention for Denji's heart? Why is his heart needed, and for what purpose? And so immediately we see that Denji is greatly outmatched. Swordman is extremely powerful. He's extremely fast. And so is Snake Girl. Like Snake Girl, she took out Aki, who had the freaking ghost demon, which was intangible, right? So for the most part, it was intangible, at least to humans. And so it seems like Snake Girl Snake has the ability to apparently eat ghosts, essentially, right? So we see that Denji is greatly outmatched. Swordman and Snake Girl are pretty powerful foes who work for seemingly the Gun Devil. So the Gun Devil, we already know without even looking at that. The Gun Devil has been throughout this entire anime, like there is the he has been alluded to as being very powerful, basically. Immediately, they don't leave us in suspense. Makima is not dead, as I kind of figured. I just generally thought that would be too easy. Too easy. You know, Makima has this HBIC energy. She's introduced really as HBIC, and she's the only one that we have not seen use her devil. So we don't know who her contract is with the devil. You know what her devil contract is. We don't know what power she has. I was about to say what quirk, what power she has, and you know, essentially she is unknown, which is a good thing because later on they mentioned that lower rank devil hunters do not have clearance to know her devil contract. So essentially her weakness is unknown and unknown to her foes as well. So this leads to so many speculations, right? So again, like I'm not reading the manga, so if you're reading the manga, you probably have some type of introspection as to what her power is. But if you're not reading the manga, like this really leaves the door open to what her ability is, because we saw essentially Makima get her head blown off. First they shot him from the back, then they shot him from the front. Like in true execution style, they murked them, okay? And so we essentially saw that, right? And I don't know if you guys remember, and I'm not sure if maybe I'm mistaken, but Makima was not on the train alone. There was someone with her from public safety, if I remember correctly. And so immediately they show that Makima's not dead, but they did not show that other partner that she was with from public safety. So that person's dead. So that to me tells me what we saw actually happened. So it wasn't an illusion. It seems like she has the ability somehow to either not die, heal, or to somehow come back from the come back from the dead, because she could have really died and then came back. But it also, what she says was, the blood is not mine, I was not shot. And so that could really be maybe an error in translation in the captions, right? But that, if that's true, because I'm not watching the dubbed right as of yet, but if that's true, that would mean, if we take that as accurate, right? We take her for her word that she was not shot, the blood is not hers, then does she have the ability to possibly kind